Shops see it every week. A car comes in running rough, burning extra fuel, and losing power. They replace spark plugs, coils, even fuel pumps. $300, $500, sometimes $800 in parts. Nothing fixes it. Then someone pulls a sensor the size of a AA battery, wipes it clean, and 5 minutes later, the engine runs like new. There are 10 sensors in your engine that get dirty over time and silently destroy performance. No warning light, no error code, just slow, progressive power loss and fuel waste that adds up to hundreds of dollars a year. Most drivers never clean them. Most shops never suggest it, because replacing the sensor pays better than cleaning it. Here are all 10. Starting with the one that fails most often. Sensor 10. MAF. Mass airflow. This sensor sits in your intake tube, measuring every molecule of air entering the engine. Inside is a heated wire thinner than a human hair. Air pulls heat away, and the computer measures the electricity needed to keep it hot. That number determines fuel injection. The wire is exposed to everything: road dust, oil vapor from the crankcase, and especially oiled performance filters like K and N. The oil migrates downstream and coats the wire. Readings drift, fuel delivery goes wrong, and you feel it as rough acceleration, 3 to 5 miles per gallon loss, and idle that hunts up and down. Shops charge $80 to $120 in 2026 to clean it. Takes 3 minutes. One critical warning: only use MAF-specific cleaner like CR/CMAF sensor cleaner. Carburetor cleaner, brake cleaner, or generic contact cleaner destroy the hot wire permanently. $8 for the right can saves the sensor. The wrong chemical kills it. Sensor 9. MAP. Manifold absolute pressure. Instead of measuring airflow directly, this sensor reads vacuum inside the intake manifold. The computer combines that pressure reading with RPM and temperature to calculate air mass. The sensor itself rarely dies. What kills it is the vacuum hose feeding it. One cracked hose and readings go completely sideways. The computer thinks the engine is under heavy load. Fuel mixture goes extremely rich. Consumption jumps 30 to 40% overnight with visible black smoke. Shops sell a new sensor for $90 to $130 when all that was needed is a $5 vacuum hose. Inspect that hose every oil change. 30 seconds. $0. Sensor 8. Throttle position, TPS. This potentiometer tracks how far the gas pedal is pressed. Inside is a resistive track that wears out at the positions used most: highway cruising and stop-and-go idle. The contact hits worn spots and voltage drops or spikes randomly. It feels like hesitation, jerking, or complete power loss at specific pedal positions. Some cars shut off when the throttle passes through the dead zone. Good technicians verify by reading voltage on a scan tool while slowly opening the throttle, watching for sudden drops. Replacement runs $120 to $180 installed in 2026. Important: if the throttle body gets cleaned or the TPS replaced, most modern vehicles need an ECU relearn procedure. Without it, idle stays rough. The procedure varies by manufacturer, so check your specific vehicle before assuming the new sensor is defective. Sensor 7. Crankshaft position, CKP. Without this sensor, the engine is completely deaf. It reads magnetic pulses from the crankshaft to tell the computer where every piston is and how fast the engine turns. That controls fuel and spark timing with millisecond precision. When the tip gets coated with metal shavings or burnt oil, the signal weakens. Random stalling when hot, long cranking before starting, or the engine dies while driving with zero warning. One of the most commonly misdiagnosed failures in automotive repair. Shops blame fuel pumps or ignition and throw $400 to $600 in parts at it. The real fix: wipe the magnetic tip with a clean rag and contact cleaner. Engine fires instantly. GM trucks in extreme heat are particularly prone to CKP contamination. Sensor 6. Camshaft position works in tandem with the crankshaft sensor like two synchronized clocks. The crank tells speed and position. The cam reveals which stroke each cylinder is on. Together, they fire each injector in perfect sequence and control variable valve timing. When oil sludge covers the reading surface, the computer loses that reference and drops into limp mode. Sequential injection gets abandoned. Idle goes rough. Cold starts take forever, and hesitation appears between 2,000 and 3,000 revolutions per minute. Shops blame coils or injectors. $150 to $200 for a coil pack. Real fix. Pull the cam sensor. Clean the reading surface and connector. 5 minutes. Sensor 5. Intake air temperature, IAT. So small, most drivers never notice it exists. It measures whether incoming air is cold and dense or hot and thin. The computer uses this on every combustion cycle to fine-tune fuel delivery. Over time, oil mist from the crankcase breather and sticky dust coat the sensor element. It reports false temperatures and the engine runs constantly rich or lean. Power drops. Fuel economy drops 2 to 4 miles per gallon. In hot climates, light pinging under load can appear. Shops charge $50 to $80 to replace it. Cleaning with electronics cleaner restores response instantly. 2 minutes. Sensor 4. Engine coolant temperature. ECT more influence over how the engine runs than almost anything else. It tells the computer how cold or hot the engine is. During cold starts, the computer enriches fuel, raises idle, and adjusts timing based on this reading. When corrosion or sludge from old coolant coats it internally, it lies. The computer thinks the engine is still cold when fully warm, burning fuel constantly, or thinks it is hot when freezing. Impossible cold starts. Fans running it wrong. Times. Replacement. $80 to $140 in 2026. But flush the cooling system first. Old contaminated coolant is usually what kills these sensors. Fresh coolant often fixes it entirely. Sensor 3. Vehicle speed. VSS. When the speedometer bounces, the transmission makes bizarre shift decisions, or cruise control randomly shuts off. This is usually why. The VSS mounts on the transmission, generating electrical pulses based on output shaft speed. When contaminated with transmission fluid or metallic debris, pulses arrive incomplete. The transmission hunts between gears. Shifts feel harsh. The speedometer jumps between 30 and 70 while driving at 60. Shops diagnose bad transmission and quote $1,500 to $3,000 for a rebuild. The real problem? Dirty speed sensor. Clean the magnetic tip and flush the connector. 10 minutes. Sensor 2. Knock sensor. A piezoelectric sensor bolted to the engine block detecting vibration from abnormal combustion. When it picks up, detonation. The computer retards timing in milliseconds to protect the engine. When coated with oil or corrosion, or installed with wrong torque, sensitivity drops. Either real detonation goes undetected, engine on the edge of destruction, or false signals constantly pull timing, killing power. Replacement. $120 to $250 in 2026. Before replacing, clean the mounting surface and reinstall with exact torque spec from the service manual. Too loose or too tight, and the sensor reads wrong. Sensor 1. Oil pressure. The red oil light is one of the most terrifying dashboard warnings. Over years of heat cycles, the sensor inlet clogs with sludge and varnish. The nightmare. The engine runs with dangerously low pressure while the sensor says everything is fine. By the time damage appears, bearings are already destroyed. Professional shops have confirmed engines showing perfect dash readings while mechanical gauges reveal critical pressure drops. Replacement. $40 to $80. Replace during regular oil changes. Cheap insurance against a $5,000 rebuild. Before you replace any sensor, now I check this first. Now here's the part that can save you more money than anything else on this list. The most common sensor problem is not a failed sensor. It is the connector feeding it. Think about it. Every sensor in your engine bay lives in a world of constant vibration, extreme heat, moisture, and road grime. Over time, that environment eats wiring from the inside out. Green corrosion forms inside connectors you cannot see. Wires break internally while the insulation looks perfectly fine. Ground points loosen and only make contact when they feel like it. So the scan tool throws a code. The shop reads it, sees a sensor name, and replaces it. $200, $300, $400. The problem disappears for a week, then comes right back, because the sensor was never the issue. The path carrying its signal was damaged entire time. Before spending $1 on any sensor replacement, grab a can of dielectric spray and clean every connector you can reach. Check the ground points. Inspect the harness for cracked insulation or loose pins. And if you do not already own one, Invest $20 to $25 in an OBD2 scanner. Plug it in, read the code, and walk into any shop already knowing which sensor is reporting problems. That code does not always mean the sensor itself is bad, but it tells you exactly where to start looking, and it keeps you from paying for guesswork. The $20 a year insurance plan, every failure on this list is preventable, and the total cost of prevention is almost embarrassing compared to the repair bills. When you replace your air filter, spray the MAF while you are in there. 1 can of CRC cleaner, $8, 3 minutes. That alone prevents the rough idle and 3 to 5 miles per gallon loss that creeps in so slowly, most drivers blame the gas station. Every 50 to 60,000 miles, clean the throttle body, $6 and 10 minutes. Just remember the ECU relearn afterward. Every oil change, glance at the MAP vacuum hose, 30 seconds. Every 2 to 3 years in hot climates, wipe the crankshaft position sensor tip, $3. And every 5 years, flush the coolant to protect the ECT sensor and prevent corrosion. Less than $20 a year, less than an hour of total time, and you avoid the repair bills that come from sensors slowly choking your engine without a single warning light. So let's put the whole picture together. Your MAF costs $8 to clean and 3 minutes of your time. The shop charges $80 to $120. Your map fix is a $5 hose that the shop turns into a $90 to $130 sensor replacement. Your crankshaft position sensor takes $3 and 5 minutes to clean. But when it gets misdiagnosed, shops throw $400 in fuel pump and ignition parts at it before anyone thinks to pull the sensor and wipe it off. Your camshaft sensor takes 5 minutes to clean. Your IAT takes 2. Your ECT often fixes itself with a coolant flush. Your VSS takes 10 minutes and prevents a $1,500 to $3,000 transmission rebuild that was never needed in the first place. Your knock sensor just needs a clean surface and the right torque spec. And your oil pressure sensor should get replaced during oil changes as cheap insurance against the kind of failure that turns a $40 part into a $5,000 engine rebuild. 10 sensors, $20 a year, and one rule that applies to every single one of them. Clean the connector first. The $2 fix is almost always the right place to start.